Friends, we are in Saturday, the Saturday in between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. I call this Saturday the Saturday that was not. In the shadowed aftermath of Good Friday, the world felt as if it had been cast into a twilight of despair. The day stretched long and heavy, filled with an agonizing stillness that clung to the very air. For the disciples and followers of Jesus, Saturday bore the weight of grief and confusion, a day that seemed to offer no solace against the tide of darkness that swept through their hearts. They gathered in hushed tones, each face a portrait of anguish, eyes red from weeping. The once vibrant joy they had shared during the triumph of Palm Sunday now felt like a distant memory, swallowed whole by the event that had unfolded on the hill on Golgotha. The laughter of yesterday was replaced by the silence of mourning, an unbearable reminder of a man they had walked beside, the man who had claimed to be the Son of God, now entombed behind a cold stone. Regret bothered at their inside like a relentless predator. They replayed the moments in their minds, questioning their choices, their faith, and their courage. Why did we not stand boldly with him? They whispered to one another. Why did we flatter as the world mocked and jeered? As they exchanged glances filled with unspoken words, a palpable fear lingered around them, bothering at the edge of their very beings. They were not just mourners, they were haunted, marked by the darkness that accompanied Jesus to the cross. The Roman authorities were surely watching and waiting. For what? They could scarcely bear to think. Confusion spun amongst the group. How could the man they believed to be the Messiah have fallen so suddenly? He had performed miracles, spoken of a kingdom that was to come, and offered hope to the hopeless. Yet here they stood wondering if it had all been a cruel illusion. Among them, a deep feeling of disbelief began to take root, a quiet but insistent voice that whispered, what if it was all for naught? What if we have believed in a false prophecy? As night fell, casting an even deeper gloom over their gathering, shadows stretched long and dark. In the flickering of a crude lamp, their faces flickered with fear, longing, and uncertainty. They felt abandoned, their spirits shrouded in a blanket of despair. Hope was a fragile echo, barely breathing, threatened by the weight of their fear for the future. They felt as though they were wandering in a vast desert with no sign of refreshment or redemption on the horizon. Yet, amid the confusion, there stayed in their church the faintest pulse of resilience. Perhaps, just perhaps, the dawn would bring clarity. And although perplexed, some still clung to the memory of his teachings, the promise of resurrection, the whisper of life prevailing over death. But as the darkness deepened, so did their doubts, creating a tension within their hearts that mirrored the clamor of the world around them. And so they remained in that limited space, adrift between despair and the faintest glimmer of hope, a band of weary souls wrestling with the enormity of their loss and the haunting shadows of what lay ahead. They were entrapped in that dreaded Saturday. The Saturday before Easter was a punctuated silence, a pregnant pause between death and life, a moment suspended in time before the dawn would break with a promise that they could scarcely begin to fathom. Friends, if we are trapped in the Saturday, look to the Lord. The time has come that you escape out of that valley of shadow of death and take on the mountaintop experience Jesus has carefully crafted for you. Friends, just wait. We'll wake up tomorrow with the exclamation, our Lord is risen. He is risen indeed. Because He lives, we too will live. A sermon awaits you for the Easter Sunday. Till then, take care.